Okay, hello, everybody. Welcome. Welders helping welders in the trades. That is the basic topic of what we're talking about, and so much to celebrate. And we're all just seeing each other. I'm new to this whole picture of everybody, but Jenny and Joey and Katie have been in contact for the past year, but this is the first time it's actually being seen and having conversations. So
Oh,
my name is Hala Citron with Express Yourself Publishing, and I'm so honored and grateful to have published Jenny Crozier's book, Jenny, a Jill of All Trades. I am a welder, the first of the series to come. And it's just been, this is celebration day. This has been a whole bunch of interviews and celebrating up to this time. And yeah, so we're going to do a lot of talking but I want to read just a little bit about both of them, both organizations, and I'm going to read about Jenny's why, and then Joy and Katie having the Hooded Heroes Foundation. I'm going to read a little bit about them, and then I will be a little bit more quiet and have them talk. So Jenny wrote this book because this is her why. This book is meant to inspire children and adults, everybody, to take a look at different trades careers and how they impact each and every one of us. Trades are the backbone of everything, literally everything, all around the world. Trades jobs need dynamic people from all walks of life to go into these exciting industries. Blue collar, may we know them, thank them, and be them. Yes. And Joy and Katie's organization, the Hooded Heroes Foundation, their mission statement is they are a movement of welders helping future welders overcome financial obstacles by providing the proper PPE, which you will define in a minute, and necessary tools for their education. And when I was looking at your website, I love the quote that says, "At any moment, the decision you make can change the course of your life forever."
100%.
Pretty powerful.
yeah, that's a good heavy one. I like it.
So, Jenny, let's start with you and tell us this book that you have been. Your why is everything. You've been traveling, but just you talk and I'll be quiet. Tell us.
Oh, I feel like I just keep saying the same thing. So if someone's catching all the lives, they're going to be like, "Oh, we are so sick of hearing this." But it's so important that it's okay. So,
It changes every time.
right. So you
Yeah.
want me to talk about which part of the book of like what I've been doing?
Just tell us about what you do, like why in you creating this book, what inspired it? What inspired the book?
Kids and kids not knowing about any trades jobs, and it just broke my heart to go into these elementaries, and they didn't even know these were options for them or possibilities. And kids just love all things building. They love fire. They love, I mean, anything exciting that they can actually do and physically impact and create. That's where kids are, and we kind of let that die. And I just think it's important to keep that alive and to help them have goals and dreams and know that these options are out there.
Because as you've gotten into I mean, a very common reaction when you're reading to the kids is kind of like awe, isn't it?
It is. And I mean, there is tons, especially little girls, they've never even heard of welding, which is amazing because it's like, okay, look around this room. Let's talk. Like, let's, how does your chair hook together? Well, what's holding your desk together? And, making them look at stuff and think about stuff. They literally sit there every day and they never think about how they got there. Who built the building? Who made the plumbing work? I mean, these are things we just have gotten to the point where we take for granted and we don't talk about them. And I think we just need to bring all that talk back because they are fascinated with it. And I mean, what little kid, when you drive by a construction site, is like, oh, look at the big equipment or look at the construction workers. And somewhere between that little young person and older, they lose that magic and they start to look differently at it. And I want to keep that magic because it's there.
Love it. Love it. So, Joey and Katie, tell us about your organization, and do you weld yourself, and just share with us. Tell us about you guys.
Yeah, so I'm a welder. I've been a welder for just celebrated 21, I'm going on 21 and a half years. Um, And my end game as a welder is I wanted to become a welding instructor. That was just kind of my retirement. I knew my body couldn't take the beating of the industry for many years. And so when I about almost 3 years ago, the doctors had told me, they were like, you might want to start looking at getting out of the field and finding yourself a nice comfy job. And I knew right then and there that that time had come in my career that I needed to pass on my knowledge. I sought after a couple welding schools, and I ended up in Fargo, North Dakota, and that's where I got my start. And that's literally what kind of set the domino effect or the ball rolling for this foundation. The welding industry gave me so much, not monetary things, but friendships, networking. I came from a very low class family. Everything I've earned type of deal was on my own. And the welding industry gave me everything that I have today. And this is kind of my way of paying it back with being an instructor. And then when I got into the school that I work for, I met a young man that had gotten to our school. He came from a very rough family. His parents were in a nutshell quickly. He emancipated himself. His high school welding instructor raised money in his local city to get him to our school.
Wow.
So they rallied an entire town to pay for the funding, the school supplies, the gear, the PPE as you called it, which is proper protective equipment, or personal protective equipment, whichever way you want to go about it. And I got to sit down with him and hear his story, and like it melted my heart. It made me want to do this. What one person did set forth what I wanted to take and go on a larger scale. So I came home. I literally kind of told Katie about it. We went on social media. This was about 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago. We took it to social media, and through my contacts and everything else, through Instagram and stuff, people were like, oh my gosh, why haven't we even thought of this before? And it took off faster than we could almost blink. We were like, how many students can we help? What are we going to call it? What do we need to do? And it kept growing and growing and growing. We became a full 501c3 nonprofit organization last year in 2022. And it's huge. The rallyment of not only social media, but companies coming forth. And it's kind of, everybody is in the process of giving back one way or another, and wanting to leave their mark on the world, I guess you want to call it. And this is their way of being able to do it. And I wish this could inspire more trades. And I'm really hoping with Jenny's, collaboration with this, that more people will see what we've done and do the same thing for other trades, such as masons, electricians, and, construction, ironworkers, whatever it may be, to let people know that if we're two people from a very small town in Minnesota can make a large impact like this, we could build the trades back again. As Jenny spoke, what society has done to the younger generations, and as they get older and older, is it's all about, you need to go to a 4-year school, and that's what you need to do. What's built America and built this world is literally the trades,
hands,
everything. Hands. The shoes that we walk in, the cars that we drive, was built by trades, whether it be electricians that wired the entire building, if it's the welders that built the ironwork, or the conveyor belts, or that run the robots to build cars, to even make water bottles. It's crazy, and it starts with people like us. And the trades is dying. I hate to say it, but it is, because the society has pushed so much on that 4-year college that it's hard to find blue collar people. And I don't like to use that word very much because I don't like the diversity of blue collar and white collar, but so many people know it as blue collar trades. Um, and what it's done for society, like if you take the generation that's above me, the baby boomers, they're getting ready to retire and they're retiring fast. And just in the welding industry alone, by the year 2026, well, let's just take it down by 1 year apiece. Right now, we could hire 90,000 welders and we would be able to replenish this year, just this year, at 90,000. And the next year, 90,000. The year after that, 90,000. And it's only going to get worse. So it's crazy. But yeah, that's kind of where the Hooded Heroes started. It's a small dream, a small hope, is really becoming something big. And to have collaborations like this and to get more and more people out there knowing that there's help around the corner. That my end game with the Hooded Heroes is to be able to go into inner cities and draw people in that are facing some tough times in their life, and let them know like, hey, we can help you out. We can draw you out. We can get you into school and you can have a lifelong rewarding career in the trades.
Yep. Because if you get that skill behind you, I mean, it's limitless what you can do with your life.
Anywhere in the world.
Yep.
Ginny, I loved how you were saying you would tell the kids to like look at the desks and look at this and how do you think that was put together and stuff like that. When we do a series of Under the Hood on our YouTube channel, and one of the people that we were interviewing was making comment of that, and he's like, anything and everything in this world has something to do with welding. Like even getting the food, it has to deal with a tractor that was welded in one way or another. Like you look at it, every aspect of life, we have something that has been welded in one way, shape, or form.
Yep.
So when you said a little bit ago, Joey, that it takes a beating, the industry takes a beating on your body. Can you give a little bit more information on how it does, just to give people a reference point on?
Yeah, for sure.
On the
I don't know. That's not going to draw kids in. It just makes him more magical. That's all it does. He gets more noises, and
it's true. It's true.
So
maybe should I nix that question?
It really depends on what side of the industry you're on. It's like anything that I was a field welder for a long time. I was a high pressure pipe welder. So I crawled around in very small areas and made very intricate welds, and it's just up and down stairs all the time. And that's only one side of the industry, right? There is so many different aspects of the welding industry that, I know guys that can sit basically at a small table in a nice comfortable chair with AC right on them, kick back their feet and weld. There's other people that work in manufacturing that work in a small cell on cushy mats, with excellent ventilation. And it really depends on what you want to do in the industry. I chose the lifestyle that I wanted because I fell in love with that process and that aspect of the welding industry.
Yeah.
But like any other trades, it's where do you want to go in life? Where do you want to be? What do you want to do? Because as Jenny said, the possibilities are limitless. A welder can go anywhere in the world and have a job right now if they have the right skill set.
Yeah.
And if you build
and a really good paying one, not just a job,
yeah.
like a really good paying job, like demand,
sure.
you're in demand.
Yep. So.
Right.
And if you look at our board members too, because we have 10 board members with Joey and I included in that, but we have artists that are making sculptures and stuff like that. We have other educators. We have people out in the field working. We have ones that do TIG art. It's a very wide variety. We have the one works on industrial washers and dryers in the plant. So, there's lots of different aspects even throughout our board members of who we have throughout the United States.
And I love you guys when you say we like to give a hand up and not a hand out, because I think there is a certain amount of pride with people who do choose these kinds of jobs. because we do work hard and we like it to look, I mean, when we walk away from that job, we want it to look a certain way. So I like that you have that statement in there to kind of, you know, keep that pride intact, because it is hard to say, hey, I need help. And so that, I just really like that.
It is very hard for any tradesman to ask for help. I know I got help along the way, you know, in little things, not just, you know, an education of hard knock life, but, you know, like my very first welding hood was bought by my welder. You know, he was making 3 times as much money as I was. He knew when I was ready to break out, I got my very first pancake, and it was handed to me from him. And that's that pride thing. Like you earned your place.
Yeah.
You know,
I know, and it must be something, because like everyone I know that I'm really close to in the trades jobs, any of them, from trucking to building to welding, whatever, we're all no helpians. Like, it's a true religion. We do not like to ask for help. We do. I mean, we're like, we can handle it. And so I just really thought that was a cool saying that you guys are tagging.
Yep. And to go along with that, hand up is one thing that's in our, like, kind of at the end of when we help an applicant, our acceptance letter. We basically say, you know, we don't ask for anything in return, but pay it forward.
Right. And that's beautiful, because everyone should do that with all kinds of aspects of our lives.
Yep. Exactly. How did you guys meet? So Jenny, how did you connect with Joy and Katie?
So we were talking about, I think, through Work Hard Apparel. So, you know, wearing the right stuff and looking awesome and being like, hey, if they wear it, they're probably pretty cool. And then just like conversing and stuff. And I'm kind of a knucklehead and Joey's a knucklehead. So, you know, just connecting and feeling like, hey, they're my kind of people. That's who I vibe with. So, and then we just kind of kept in contact. And yeah, I wrote him a poem at one point. He probably thought it was super weird because we didn't know each other that well. But yeah, so
he actually did read that to me one day. So he liked it.
He didn't just, you know, hide it in the bottom of the drawer like, oh, she is a weirdo.
No. And what really drew me into Jenny was just her morale and wanting to be in front of the people and the trades and stuff like that, being a voice. And what's really inspiring to that is it's a woman's voice, because there is not enough women in the trades. And what's crazy about society today is women are fully accepted in the trades. Now, they do have to take, you know, a little bit of crap here and there. And I hate to use that word, but it is a man's based trade. But just say, for instance, welding, women make better welders. You ask any welder, hands down, they will outweld any day of the week. Yep. Their control, their attention to detail, their physical awareness of their bodies, where men, you know, like you get a guy early in the morning, you know, if you've had a couple cups of coffee, we start to shake a little bit, where women are so much more controlled over that. And it's built into their DNA. So,
and we're really good at multitasking too.
Yeah,
and like thinking ahead and stuff, whereas sometimes men get like that tunnel vision. So I've heard that too.
Wow. I was just going to say, my brain just went blank for a minute.
Sorry. Being in dipping my toes in several different trades, I love that welding really is an equal space. Some of my other jobs, when I'm doing drywall or I'm doing forms, I mean, physically, it's a lot harder for me to keep up with the men. Like there's just no comparison in our physical. But in welding, it really is an equal platform once you learn those skills, because it isn't as, I mean, it's demanding on your body, but it's not, there's not that you have to be a man aspect or get help.
It's more mental demanding than anything, because each weld that goes down, no matter what you're doing, has to be precise. They say welders have the hands and the eyes of a surgeon. And you get into some industries, like take aeronautical, for instance, the people that work for SpaceX, that is a rocket sending people into space. If welds go wrong, there is nothing good going to be about it.
Right.
You know, same thing. And I have a friend that works for Northrop Grumman, and he gets they travel him all over the world, and he goes to air bases and repairs like Hellcats and missiles. And I mean, every one of his welds, every little millimeter of his weld better count. So
Yeah, little important.
Mhm.
I remember what I wanted to say. So, what's really cool about the illustrations in this book is very much of like a collagey kind of look. And the way the Hooded Heroes Foundation is right on the cover. The shirt is shown right here, and it really is a beautiful aspect when you're looking through the book. I mean, everybody, we're talking about welding. Look at these pages.
Oh, I know. I love the sparks.
It's such a cool book.
Isn't it?
It's so well done.
Thank you so much.
Like, she really did such a beautiful job with all of the representation of the companies that she featured by using Juno Jones, by putting the boots in here, by putting the gloves in here from another organization, even down to like the little logos that are on the gloves. There was a lot of attention to detail, but kudos for you guys getting front page.
I know.
Yeah.
And
It is because I'm hoping that it will open eyes for these kids and to let them know, like Joy was saying, that these things are out there, so that if they get to that point and they're like, I would, but I can't, that has been taken out of the equation. So they don't have that excuse, they can go for what they want to go for and have a little help.
And Jenny, you did a tremendous job on your research. I'm not going to lie. The first time when you sent me the book to kind of read through it as an educator in the welding industry, I couldn't even pick apart like one small thing. Like, your research was top notch. Your verbiage was top notch. Well done.
That's so nice, because when I sent it and you didn't have much feedback, I thought he probably didn't even read it.
Oh, I read it 3 times just to make sure. But
thank you. Yeah, it was really good. And I'm so honored that you would be part of it. I mean, all of these companies, they went in blind. I mean, whoever comes on for the next book has a little idea of what it's going to be like. But I mean, I could have done anything with these, and they let me feature them. So I'm just truly humbled that they all said, yeah, okay, that's a cool idea. So.
But I think looking at it from the outside, I mean, I'm just the publisher, but looking at it separate from being in the welding community, and we've said this many times, Jenny, but it's groundbreaking what's happening. And what Joey and Katie are saying is that people are needed. Like, that number, 90,000 people, if you brought in 90,000 people, that covers this year. And then that's a lot of people. So, but what you're doing, it all started from a paper, like you folded pieces of paper and you had this idea and you put it into a paper book, and then went to Chelsea, your illustrator, and said, help me. Like, that's how it starts. And people within your community, like Joy and Katie made reference to, is it's all about community.
Yeah. And the welding community is seriously phenomenal. That's part of why I started with welding too. Like, just accepting good people. And I don't know, there's something beautiful about, they are artists. I mean, even if they don't view themselves that way, if they're not making art, they're still artists, because their skill is, it's art.
Well, go ahead.
Jenny, you even took it a step further with the book too, to help people, and that you not only like put the information about them, but then you put those QR codes in there, so they don't have an excuse of, oh, I'll look that up later. It's right here. Like, I don't have to like Google it or anything. I can just scan this code, and it's like, that was huge. Just like that. Yeah. I mean,
and kids love
like
that kind of stuff.
Oh,
it's like a little hunt. Like, well, who are we going to look at next, and what are they going to be? So it turned out really fun. And the kids that I've shown it to, and as I've been going around, they get really excited. And to see kids that excited over welding blows my mind.
Right.
But it's that idea of, like you said, it's kids want to be hands-on. There has been a misstep, and it's not to say that all kids are like this, but getting dirty, like exploring, like true exploration, and really feeling
and dreams
and
goals. Yeah.
Yes. Home ec. This has come up a bunch of times too. Like, Joey and Katie, do you remember home ec class?
Yep.
It is a very generational thing.
Oh, yeah.
We did sewing, cooking. I had metals class. I remember the smell, and I remember being scared from the machine, but I remember all that. I remember that. That's actually a core memory, much more than what I learned in English, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right.
and I know some towns, like some bigger cities, are trying to push back. Um, excuse me. When I do a lot of recruiting and I go to high schools, I talk with counselors, guidance counselors, and I think the persona is changing because we're seeing a lot more career academy in high school now, some in junior high as well. Your 7th through 12th grade, these kids can go into the career side of the world and, learn about nursing and see if they like it, or computers, or, staying away from those pushing, you need to be a lawyer, you need to be a doctor, because it's not cut out for anybody.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Blue collar trades, or, the trades period, they're the people that want to not have to use their brain a lot. I'm saying that very loosely, right? We don't have to have a PhD to do our job. We don't have to go to 6 years or 10 years of school. Most trades, it's either on the job training or short-term schooling, and you can be out and making tons and tons of money, and have a lifelong career in it.
And what you're doing is so important because, like Jenny said, with the chair that you're sitting on, if you screw up on the weld, you don't have a chair. If you mess up on a bridge by not doing it correctly, like, just because it's not 4 years of school or 10 years of school doesn't mean that you're not intelligent. It just means it's a different way of doing things. I mean, our son went to he went to a trade school for high school because he just wasn't into the regular high school. That wasn't his thing. And he ended up doing auto repair. He's 23. He's not doing that now, but that's what worked for him in high school. And he has a knowledge of it. And he met people through that. And that's what worked for him at that time. And it's just, because the hands-on component was so important. To have 3 hours of hands-on time was
and that's the thing. I think that's where we've kind of dropped the ball. And I always tease about how kids have everything at their fingertips, but we're reaching that point that their fingertips are so soft they can't do anything. They don't know any skills, and we just have to make sure we are including those options, because I know around here, we just got the college that has a construction management program. We got those into high school as concurrent enrollment. And that was a big deal. I mean, those things are a big deal to come back, and you kind of have to fight, and you have to work with this person and that person. But when it comes to fruition and then you see those kids there, you're just like, it was totally worth it, because there is an interest. But when we've dropped the ball, they don't have any avenue to pursue that. So yeah, all this is coming and changing, and there's so many things out there happening in this industry.
Well, kind of to tail off just a little bit, the trades is a lot more of accepting to anybody.
Yeah.
Literally, where, again, I hate picking on doctors and lawyers, but that's where they say all the money is at. I'll come on here and tell you, I have friends that have made more than doctors and lawyers could dream of in a year as welders. So, but we're way more accepting to just anybody coming in. If the smallest amount of mechanical skill, you can make it in the trades, and live a good life. Where doctors and lawyers, you have to pass, several tests and stuff like that, like the bar, or, something like that, where if you miss it, your career is over at that point. Where the trades, it doesn't have that persona at all.
Well, you guys still pass all of your tests and stuff, like your welding certs and all that. And
there's
those
still
are
a lot
pretty darn tough. There's
a lot of math.
Yeah, a lot of math.
Yeah.
It's just
I just think there's so many different personalities, and I just like when all the opportunities are laid out like a buffet, and each kid can pick their own. And for too long, we've not had our stuff on the buffet, so bring it back.
Bring it back.
I like our town that we have here. They just opened a career academy, so they have like 8 or 9 different trades and stuff, and it's a lot more helpful for kids to get to see that kind of stuff and do all that during the day. I would have loved being able to go do automotive during the day your son got to. Like, that would have been my cup of tea instead of going and sitting in that classroom.
Yeah, it makes a difference. So I can't believe we're almost at a half hour. So our time is like getting towards the end, but I do want to acknowledge. So Alterations by Angela. Thank you. Jenny, you have put a face on the creator while opening the world of trades to the youth. So yay to you.
Congratulations.
So before we say go into closing and all of that, Jenny, why don't you pull something that you want to share from your book, either a fun fact or a definition or something?
So I kind of wondered if you weren't going to ask me that.
Of course I
So
will.
I already have mine ready. And in the book, vocabulary was very important to me. And I couldn't wait to highlight some of these words and some of these things that go with the trades so that these kids could know what they mean. And then I also got to put my spin on some of them that are a word that's been around forever, but maybe just thought about a little bit differently. So I want to choose bold. And I put a brave trailblazer who is super praiseworthy. And that's you guys. So I like that you guys are bold.
Thank you.
That is an amazing word. Amazing word. So before we say wrap it up and tell everybody where they can get Jenny's book. So Josh and Katie, it's just so beautiful.
It's Joey.
Oh, Joey. I'm sorry.
A is close enough.
Okay. Sorry, everybody. It's the end of the week and my brain. So, okay. Joey and Katie, tell people, well, first tell us, like, well, you have touched on it, but is there anything else you want to expand on for the future in the trades?
The fact that just more people wanting to get into trades, period. And yes, I'm biased towards welding, but the trades needs more people than we can take in right now. And I wish more people could push it, and get the awareness out like Jenny has done. I would love to see this book in every elementary school across the United States. This teacher wants to read it because they're talking about trades one day. Even if it's one day, one class, that's 25 students that got to hear it throughout the United States. 5 or 10 of those 25 are going to go into the trades if we catch them early enough, and continue that educational part of trades being a part of their life, rather than instill in them, this is what you have to do.
Yeah.
Why don't we leave it open for suggestions?
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. And what you said just made me think, planting the seed. If every elementary school, if every preschool has this in their library, then they're planting a seed. So kids know it's a possibility.
Yeah.
And have never not heard of it. It's just like, oh yeah, you can be a welder. I can be a welder. Anybody can be a welder. So yeah, that's really beautiful. So how can people connect with you guys? Because what you're doing and paying it forward and helping people to get to do this is just incredible. So how can people connect with you?
For us, the biggest thing is you can go to our website, thehoodedheroes.org. Otherwise, you can check us out on different social media sites. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
Okay.
And a lot of our stuff, I guess, we stick with mainly Instagram, I guess, a lot of the times. But we have started a series of Under the Hood where we talk to different welders you can hear all different aspects and stuff from welders on our YouTube channel too. So you can check that out and see who inspires you.
Perfect. So we'll put all the links. So all the links, everybody, will be up below, down below. They will be somewhere so you can connect. So that is incredible. And Jenny, how can people connect with you, learn more about you, and buy this book?
You can go to jennyagilofalltrades.com. I've got several links where you can purchase the book. You can Google. We keep adding more when places pick us up. So that's pretty exciting. And I'm hoping I'm with Joey. Like, I think all the trades are so important. It's probably because I'm blessed to be able to dabble in them all, doing them all, living rural and being in general contracting. I mean, I literally do a little of everything. And so I'm excited because I think everyone has so many different interests when you're growing up. There's got to be something for everyone. And if there's a whole series, that would be so exciting, because even if you didn't like this one, you'd be like, oh, well, I like that one. So I just hope people keep supporting it, and keep doing it.
I have a question. People are going to be supporting it. So it's paperback, it's hardcover. You're going to go to her site. You're going to purchase it. And yes, share, share, share. And we will leave with this quote, which I love: build the doors you walk through.
Nice.
So build them, everybody. And we so appreciate you. Thank you so much, Joey and Katie and Jenny, and celebrating you for this whole week. This has been the culmination, and it doesn't end here. It's just this celebration. It's just going to keep going and going. So thank you, everybody, tuning in with us live. Everybody,
Nice to meet you guys.
Thank
Yes,
you so
thank
much.
you.
It's been an honor coming on here, and Jenny, it's truly is an honor to work with you.
Thank you.
So-
Me too.
May the connections continue. So everybody,
Yes.
have an amazing morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in this world, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.